Damon Stith. I'm sitting here with my mother, Jean Stith, class of 1966, with the pleasure of allowing her to see um, the first footage of a documentary about the Brunswick 15, in which case is a story, a tribute that is from her era, and just watching her response. It's raining outside, but it will not rain on our parade. This week, county leaders welcome the Brunswick 15 back to school. September the 9th. It's a unique experience, for those that no name calling, no hatred. Still care about the history of just a celebration of bravery Brunswick and courage. 59 years in the making. Just seeing her reaction, her response. This is our story. This is our history. While earning a diploma. Wow. These graduates simultaneously striving to get here where we reside, Freeman, Virginia Incorporated. 6 decades later, it is these seniors who I guess further continue to make a difference and to make a change. At this time, this is our Brunswick 15 memorial moment. As for Marvin Jones Sr., nothing will erase the memories. Shout out to the Brunswick 15, y'all. But this 75-year-old is turning
to see the world needs to know. Kids don't need to be happy screaming bull. That's what that was. Bull. If you cut us, we believe just like they do.
Great joy that my children and my grandkids would be able to say that their daddy was a trailblazer.
For I Have a Story. I'm Ray McQuaid. Thank you for coming. CBS 6 News.
So the next thing make me ask, did they only select 15 or they didn't reach out to the entire classes? How did that actually work? Or were they just the first group that went in and then the second year y'all came in? So the Rosenberg schools, they had small schools in the community. Are you familiar with any they had before?
Yeah, we heard a lot about them more than anything else.
So go ahead.
But when they actually came to Tom Russell was a black school, and the white integrated with us. But they stood different because they didn't want to associate with us. But they were brave enough when they came in. They were brave enough to call us a nigger. I know that. And every time they had an assembly, the white ones would be the ones who did it, and the black ones would have to sit back.
Wow.
We always had white representatives when anything happened. But some of our ball team, they didn't take no bull off of nobody. They don't care what color they were. You couldn't insult them because they were proud to tell.
That reminded me of Fred Jones.
Yeah.
He was saying that when they first started going to school, he said football practice ended about 4:30, and he said they got from 4:30 to get back to Freeman before it got dark. And if they didn't get back before it got dark, they jumped in and out of the woods all the way home.
Yeah.
Because 58 was one-way street on both ways, right?
That's right.
The real suicide script.
Still is if you don't watch.
Wow.
But there was another boy named Lawrence Ragnar. His father ran up through the medical store, drugstore, and they treated, because they thought he was monetarily better than the Irish black, they treated him like crap.
Wow.
They used to fight him all the time. He wasn't a big guy like Jones was a big boy. don't want to push Jones too far without getting beat up.
Right.
But Raglan, every time you saw him, he was battered and crying.
Wow.
But his father, he kept bringing the law in, but it didn't do any good because all of them were white. You know they don't sympathize with us. So they were saying he did something to provoke it. So. And then the year before I graduated, got so the black was beating everybody's hand part. And then talking junk.
Oh, so that was going to what, 68, 69 when Malcolm, Martin, everybody was strong and when people was awake.
And we'll bust you over. Beat the stuffing out of you.
See, that's the point I believe that the world is afraid of. I ain't gonna say the world, but the powers to be are afraid of that same moment.
Yeah.
For us to
because
get.
what do you expect? Because they still treat us with indignance. And if Donald Trump get in there, you can look out. They be shooting black folks down just like that animal.
Right. Wow.
He don't come right out and say what he's saying now.
That's real.
Yeah, he knows how to take care of this country. I do too. I'd buy myself a gun and go kill a whole bunch of them there. Donald Trump was on TV. One day last weekend, I was listening to him on my phone. He said that there were a group of blacks now that he paid homage to because they support him. I said, they have food, needed to take him out, skin him or something. He is Donald Trump is crazy.
Yeah.
Devil.
He playing the whole devil card.
Wait.
He sure is, but some black people will
still
go on
film
anything.
All right, because just so we can keep this in context, when you do your homework and you look at the history of Joe Biden, it's really not much space there. It's not much of a cushion that separates the two. Okay, it's kind of the narrative supports what's better, the devil you know or the one you don't. But Donald Trump, okay, rich boy, giving kind of silver spoon. Now Joe Biden, as we know it, he's the person that coined us. Him and Hillary Clinton are actually the people that coined us to be super predators. Every piece of legislation that this man has been a part of throughout his career has been to keep that foot on our neck.
And he's weak, that's why.
Well, look at our mascot for the flag of Virginia. It is the woman with her foot on the neck of a slave. And
why is there a crown beside the head though?
I mean, because
he's honored, that's why.
Oh no,
It's like it's got a foot on a weak man
that's right.
that's being pinned down from the obligations of the world or the pressures of the world.
Precious of the world.
I mean, outside of that, I mean, was not to be figurative, just literally. When you think about it, they have a staff, and you see them, they have the support, because we consider that staff is a support, the support of the governing body, if not anything else. And that's to keep that weight on there. You ever tried to climb up something and you put your staff down so you can get your weight right? It got you just perfectly weighted. You got leverage. So I mean, if we look at the symbolism with that, and then we look at the governing body and we look at the politics that it embodies and has embodied for the presentation, a lot of people around here don't understand the significance of James Solomon Russell. They've never done a deep dive or their own information to look into it. I'm probably gonna get punished for not knowing her name, but the lady that they were celebrating in the movie that did the mathematics that sent the shuttle into space, she taught at James Solomon Russell.
Right.
So it's a lot of history here.
And we can pull that clip and insert here.
Okay. I mean, but most definitely so. But not to get sidetracked, and you know the point I was trying to make about Joe Biden. Like, you know, everybody's talking about Donald Trump as the opposition, and oh, he's the devil, and all he does is invoke the spirit that of America, basically, and that's saying that we inferior. We are inferior, though in fact we are dominant, and the world knows it. The entire world knows it, except for the culture itself. We embrace all of those European ideologies more so than the Europeans do. They probably looking at us like, why we going so hard for it? They put us through all of this, and all we did was turn around and use their indoctrination to further indoctrinate ourselves into this way of life. We want to prove that we are their equals, when in fact we've been dominant the entire time in everything we've ever put our hands to. Our hands, our heart, our spirits, our focus. But yet we seem to not get it because of people like Joe Biden. That, you know, there are clips of him saying that he didn't want his children. We were just looking at the Brunswick 15, and we were talking about desegregation. And he was one of the main people that didn't want his kids going. He considered us to be animals. He said that it was a zoo. You know, they build prisons to put us in because animals should be in the zoo. We had to be corralled and kept at bay, so that they always have a controlling interest over whatever it is we do. And no one seems to understand that. And somehow Donald Trump may have emboldened the racist, but we've forgotten the damage that Biden has done in keeping us underfoot.
On the news, they showed schools in South Carolina. Mama, you probably seen this. And they were placing the 10 Commandments on the wall of the schools. And wanted enlarged enough prints so they could actually, I guess, memorize it. All right? How do y'all feel about that being done and placed into the school system, the public school systems? Today, it's 2024. It's almost like if they try to bring back prayer again, right?
Well,
so if they brought back prayer, they're gonna try to give you who to pray to and give you the statement to pray.
It's just further indoctrination.
Right.
That's all it is. And it's setting a precedence that, you know, they done had the separation of church and state for a long time, right? And I think that speaks directly to the fact that, especially the black church, and how the symbolism of God is being used against us. Not for us, not with us, but against us.
Right.
Because I told you, if you really want a true declaration of spiritual, I'm gonna use the rabbit ears over here, so please don't nobody shoot the messenger. But you have the plate come around twice, then you get called to the altar. Throw it up in the air and see how much God keeps. And then we gonna talk about, because I wanna once again keep it in context. We talk about the 10 Commandments in a classroom. Okay, we're gonna discuss the 10 Commandments, which originally probably gonna come from the Torah. Okay, the Old Testament. There was nothing attached to us to save us before Christ as we believe in it. So why would we need the 10 Commandments? What statement is that making exactly? Because that God was a God of wrath. That God was a God of anger. That God, so you mean to tell me God is the most omniscient, the most omnipotent, and the most omnipresent? He everywhere, he all knowing, and he all powerful, but he got to be mad at you, and you just a man? What presentation does that make exactly? Right. Are you trying to prove and contradict that which is the mercy and all of that was promised to us when Christ was given to the culture? Or do you want us to go by the Torah, that you're going to be punished? Is it an eye for an eye, or is it if they take your cloth, give them your tunic and everything else? Which one is it?
Right.
So whose rule are we really talking about being under exactly?
Right. Facts. All right.
Lives off of killing, stealing, and murdering. Do you think the presentation that really needs to be out there is the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Shit, you see it every day.
You know.
What you mean, thou shalt not?
You know.
Do you watch the news?
We 100% solution based now, right? So normally
we strive to be those of us that live
right.
in a positive realm.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I done figure out a way that we can revert the world. Everybody's having kids, right?
Yeah.
Now one of the most important things is discipline, right?
Truly.
I think ass whippings need to be reinstituted.
Oh, wait, you can't say ass whippings. You mean corporal punishment.
Now, ass whipping. Give parents the ability to teach their kids right and wrong up to the age of 18 years old.
Yeah.
Because then that way,
it's sure got it.
That's how we learn. See, one thing for them to say, you don't do this. I want you to believe this. I want you. But you learn.
Had they taken maxims out of the good book and used them to promote standards, I could understand it. But if you think about it culturally, King James Version doesn't have Maccabees. Maccabees was a book of virtue for the Catholic. But we don't have it in the King James Version. Why is that?
Good question.
I mean, had you said, like you said, you promoting whoopings and corporal punishment, okay, spare the rod, spoil the child. Why not just take the maxims and the basic principles as a reminder?
But discipline is the only way you.
Hey, look, I take it from DMX, baby. If you do dirt, you get dirt.
But you got to think now. You got kids that don't know right from wrong.
And have no respect.
Right, have no respect. Because nobody never told them they was wrong.
Okay.
I had exposure to a little boy yesterday. And there wasn't really space for my purse. So I told him, I said, put it back there where he is. Who thinks that an 8, 9-year-old boy gonna go in your purse? Well, I hadn't bought anything, hadn't done anything. I had one lousy $20 and about maybe 80 cents. He took every bit of it. I want nobody back there but him and maybe the devil.
It's the devil's ear.
So I got to the house. I didn't buy anything. So I got to the house. I said, what happened to the little bit of change I had in my purse? Because I was sent by somebody else. I couldn't find it, so I called the house, and I got the message that you were gonna search the car. Want about it back there but him, so he had to be the one that got it to whoop his butt. That was because you know he had to get it. She was where I was all the time, so she couldn't take it.
Right.
But you know, discipline with children is the only way to go to make them do what you want to do. Because if you don't punish them for what they do, they'll do anything. Mama ain't gonna touch me. Daddy ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
So
And get to school and
turns
feel
out
the
to be
same
a
way.
fool. So
Well, respectively, I would have to know how individuals define discipline, because the fact of the matter is like it's tough out here, and a lot of people are just angry and frustrated and depressed. So when we speak of discipline, we have to know what that looks like. Like you, just to go back to the Bible. I'm not a Christian, but I am spiritual. So we have to understand that you can't whip your child out of anger. Like these things are meant for edification,
Right.
to correct them. So if you're gonna punish them when they do something wrong,
Right.
not because you angry.
Take your precious of life
You
out
know,
on them.
You done told them
Yeah.
to sit down 3 times. Now you want to throw them across the room. Like,
now
Yeah.
we can go to his room.
but I think that's how, parenting got to be a piece of legislation these days, because people don't know how to conduct themselves. You don't hear anybody talking about morals or values or principles or virtues no more, and that comes from the parent. The child ain't supposed to. That's why they used to call it home training. You ain't got no home training, cause you're supposed to got your training at home. You're supposed to learn everything else when you get out here in the world because you're spending more time away from home. But if no one ever trained you at home, nobody ever taught you how to sit down. Nobody ever taught you how to maintain eye contact. Nobody ever took that time out with you. Then you are lacking that training, and now you're asking a stranger to be a greater influence than you are as a parent, as the individual. So when we speak about discipline, we have to look at the governing body again. Because if you can't govern your kids at home, how in the hell do you expect a stranger to govern them abroad? You don't want the world teaching them lessons, because the world gonna whoop on you. It's whooping on us as adults. So if we don't get it right, they not gonna get it right. People, y'all joining us right now. Your homie Fly, shout out my man VA Fine. This is my mom right here, my queen, my jewel. You know, tell you a little tilt the crown. But anyhow, we were talking about basic fundamental principles of monies and finances as we receive them and deliver them. And I just wanted to make a quick point, right? Have you thought about when you first started working? At what era, what time, what stage of your life you was in when you first started working? You were making $7.50, $8 an hour, right? You had $7.50, $8 an hour problem. Hell, you might have been making $200 a week or whatever. All right. Now think about that next stage. You got out there $8, man. You got the $12, and you was feeling good about it. I mean, we can keep the math real simple. 12 times 4 is 48. That's 480. Okay, you got taxes. You might have a little insurance a little cheaper then. So you might, now you at 300 and some change a week, right? Then you graduated. Good God, you got that $15. You got that $15 with your 40 hours, and you came off. Hell, you know what? Just for y'all people that do math real slow, we're gonna keep these numbers basic. All right, so we're gonna say you made it to $20 an hour. Now you balling, right? Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. So you're an $800 grossing person. If you have any insurance or anything else come out, now you're about $586, $619, depending on your withholdings or whatever. That's now you're $2,400 a month Negro. And you know, we can do it times 12, however y'all want to do it. You know, we can do 2 times 12, 24, and then we can just do 4 times 12 is 48. Y'all keeping up the math. Okay, the point that I'm making is this. You went from a $7 person, you had $179. You went up to a $12 person, you had $300 and some dollars. You went up to a $20 nigga, and now you're making $600 a week. Your income drives your life. The problem that a lot of us have is, as the income started to drive our lives, we forgot about that $7 person. Instead of us still having $7 problems, which we could maintain easily because of the income that we have now, we made $20 financial advances. So the more money we made, the more stuff we bought, the more money we messed up, the more we stopped being frugal, we stopped being humble. So had we stayed there, that $7 impression, life would be a whole lot easier. Moral of the story is if you went from a 24,000 to a 50,000, you make double what you made then. Stop making decisions. Stop bringing the financial stress and strain on yourself. Stop spending money trying to keep up with the Joneses. Let your life advance at the pace that your money is advancing. Stop putting it all on the line all of the damn time. It's your homie Fly South. Peace and love. That's one for you.